I feel like I talk more about old games than, I do the newer titles. Like, I feel like I'm that one old head that's always rambling on about the good old days and refuses to live in the present. Except instead of telling you all about old war stories that probably never happened, I'm always talking to you about games from the early 2000s. And that's for good reasons. I mean, most of the games produced during this time period were focused on giving you a full, fun experience rather than just blatantly gouging at your pockets. Like, games aren't even hiding it anymore. Like, I know y'all see that games are costing $70 at retail price and are still having season passes, and you want to spend even more money. Like, bro, I'm already behind on the bills, help me. So yeah, gaming for the most part has been played with corporate greed for money in the recent years, ultimately bringing down the the quality in games, and it's honestly fucked up to see. I can't even lie to you. But the only time that I can say it really hurts me to see it is when it starts affecting a franchise that I actually love. There aren't too many of them, but that only makes it even worse because the ones that do get affected that I love give me actual, like, heartbreak. Case in point example, the Saints Row series. Specifically, the 5th entry in the series released just last year, which was also a reboot for the franchise. And man, this game... Just gonna keep the tissue close for this one. I don't got actual tissue. This game took the legacy of the past 4 games with all of their beloved characters, humor, gameplay, and just all of the great vibes you got from playing the classic Saints Row games, and used it as toilet paper to wipe with, and basically served us that as a video game. This game had some of the most driest characters and generic storyline that I've ever been forced to sit through, unfortunately, because I had too much playtime and couldn't get a refund. Epic Games, y'all are some haters. And everything else about the game, like the map selection and gameplay, just felt less fun than every other iteration of the previous games. The devs took the series in a completely new direction to win over the quote-unquote new generation, even though most of the people that bought the game were the OG fans, so like, where was the logic? Anyways, it was bad, terrible actually, but that's old news now. They tried releasing new updates and even DLC for the game, or basically giving out the game for free to play, but at the end of the day, you just can't put perfume on dog shit and expect people to buy it. That's just not how life works. So the devs had to hold that L, and people like myself just decided to wait and see what the future of the series would look like in the coming years. Well, unfortunately, even though, the game and the people behind it have already gone through a lot, this sad song just doesn't end quite yet. Today, 𝘍𝘌𝘌𝘓, the team that developed the Saints Row games, took to announce something that nobody really saw coming, even after the poor performance of the recent Saints Row game. News that might pause or end the series altogether going forward. 𝘍𝘌𝘌𝘓 took to announce that they were permanently shutting down on the account of their parent company having some sort of restructuring program and needing to tie off some ends. In their LinkedIn posts, they claimed, this past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as the leader in the video game industry. As a part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals and made the difficult decision to close 𝘍𝘌𝘌𝘓 effective immediately. Now, while the people who really hated Saints Row 5 might see this as like a W, at the end of the day, 𝘍𝘌𝘌𝘓 was still behind the previous Saints Row titles that many people enjoyed, titles that hold a very special place in my heart. So even though they sold us actual human waste with the last game, I can't stress how bad that game was, this news to me, hits like seeing if Rockstar Games were shutting down. To me, it's on that same level, and it's just sad, man. I didn't like how they handled the last game, but I didn't want to see them close shop altogether because of it. I'd rather see them improve and make something better in the future. Now, in some light, this doesn't mean that Saints Row will be completely over. I mean, the rights for the game could go to another developer in the future and we could see someone else produce it, but given how this last game went, the franchise might not survive another big company switch up. Whoever could take responsibility for the new game would have to, give the players the classic gameplay that they want or something better than it. But again, it's all about the money. If these big game investors can't see an idea making billions of dollars in return profits, then it likely won't happen. So we'll just have to wait and see what the future of Saints Row is gonna hold. Still though, it's pretty sad news for 𝘍𝘌𝘌𝘓. Hopefully everyone that worked there can easily transition into a new job and that this news isn't the end of Saints Row. So what do you guys think about this news about Saints Row, man? Feel free to comment down below. And as always, if you like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.